And in today's podcast, I'm going to be covering the topic on when it comes to getting lean or building an impressive physique, what probably works the best, whether it's willpower, hacks, or simply being mindful and present. But I'm going to answer this question with all of my anecdotal experience from all the photo shoot cuts that I've done and from client experiences as well. This is my gift to offer to you guys. So, story time. The first photo shoot that I did was in 2019, and this was a part of my company's requirement. But before I tell you more of the story, right? Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And whatever's mentioned in this video is solely for educational and entertainment purposes only. So please don't do anything that I mention without a physician's guidance. And if you want to do it, please do it at your own risk. I am liable, okay? So let's get cracking. So 2019 prep, okay? I was required to do a photo shoot because I was working in Ultimate Performance. Ultimate Performance is a gym that solely focuses on transforming people. The reason why I'm here today in the first place is because Ultimate Performance actually showed me the basics of training and nutrition, and they require the trainers to be in shape. So one of the requirements was 1 or 2 photo shoots per year. I was new to it, and I'm gonna insert the photo. This is the photo right here. I went from this to this in something like 16 weeks, and I binged a couple of times. I'm gonna be honest, and immediately after the photo shoot ended, I binged hard, right? But this prep was pure willpower. It was pure willpower, and I was abusing because it was pure willpower because there were like a lot of trainers who were in better shape than me. So you tend to feel a bit insecure, and then you also want to prove it to yourself, right? Because you're growing up in a company, etc. So yeah, and around that time I was abusing hacks on nutrition because around that time I learned the basics of calories in and calories out. So I was like, ooh, I can squeeze in a protein bar inside my calories basically and still get in shape. And my calories were at 1300. I should be simply eating like more meat and vegetables so that I could keep myself fuller. I was making like beef, cheese, pizza, and I wondered why the hell I never felt full, right? And I was heavily relying on death metal music to train myself. So yeah, and the days when I didn't feel like training, yeah, I willpowered my way through it, and then I'll come back home late in the night because I was busy with back-to-back clients. I was working late on the gym floor, so I wear the hoodie and listen to motivational speeches and go out and do my steps late in the night. That was pure willpower, right? Did it last? Hell no, because I didn't know why I was doing it, and the reason why I was doing it was because I wanted to prove it to other people instead of proving it to myself. And willpower is finite, right? It comes and goes. And I was abusing hacks, right? So this brings me to another photo shoot prep that I did in 2023 basically, right? This was pure willpower. Well, not pure willpower, but I was abusing hacks, but not so much. The binges were less, but the binges were more of like once every 2 months or once every 9 weeks or something like that basically. But it was more of like 5 or 6 diet sodas per day, a lot of chewing gums, and figuring out 0-calorie ways to make food tasty, so like a lot of Tabasco, a lot of soy sauce and all of that basically. But yeah, I began to get better, but I still don't know why I was doing it. Around that time I was late in the picking up girls scene, so I was still doing it for an external reason to get fit for girls basically. I was not doing it for myself. So but this time I was a bit mature on the fact that I needed to phase out of the process a bit more efficiently, so I was more mindful about that, but I didn't know my internal why, and I just saw bodybuilding as a process rather than as a method for self-development basically. So yeah, and I was also smoking cigarettes around that time basically, right? Like 3 or 4 cigarettes per week, because tobacco had a hunger suppressing effect. So I was abusing that hack basically, rather than just sitting through it. Now, one of the best preps that I had was in 2025 basically, which was a lot of willpower, but I still didn't know why I was doing it. I still didn't know why I was doing it basically. I still didn't know my internal why. That's when I began to use hacks. 3 to 4 diet sodas a day. But when I had something like 3 to 4 binges in a span of something like 9 months, but hunger was, I got really, really lean, and the hunger was getting to me. So that's when my coach suggested that I go on a GLP-1. But the moment I got introduced to a GLP-1 basically, I'm like, oh, it's that simple basically. And that's when I started learning more on the pharmacology side of things, PEDs, peptides, and steroids. And that's when I started abusing things. So by the end of the photo shoot, I still didn't know my internal why, and I was still using food as a coping mechanism for my problems, for my pain in life basically. So I was still brute forcing and willpowering my way through things, but slowly and steadily I began to get a slight idea about my internal why. So the binges reduced, but I was abusing hacks, but from a pharmacology side of things. So let me just give you like an example. Let me just chew chewing gum. Let me overdo the water. Let me have a lot of diet 7-Ups. If I binge on my diet, the next day I'm probably gonna overdo the cleanse, right? I did all of that shit basically. And when I went to Vietnam, this time in Vietnam I was quite balanced with my weed use basically. And for the first time in my entire life, I binged something like twice, right, in a span of something like 12 days, and I just put on like a kilo. But I still didn't know my internal why, and I was not introduced to consciousness, self-development, etc. And the reason why I'd binge on food even when I was phasing out after my photo shoot was because I didn't know my internal why. I was abusing food. I was abusing weed rather than using basically. So what I'm trying to get at is, for any sort of goal, right? Everyone's got their own poison which they abuse. I'm not against the use basically, right? If you use without your goals being affected once in a while, cool. Speaking of which, what probably works? Does willpower work? The answer is no, because willpower comes and goes, and the day when the willpower is high, you only fucking use it, right? It's more of like nitros basically, right? It's more of like NOS, and it's highly motivated by external factors. Let's probably say that you see your favorite celebrity in good shape, or you watch an amazing movie, or listen to some good music. It's external, caffeine, etc. So that's probably gonna come and go. When it's there, you fucking use it, right? But don't identify with it basically. Now with regards to hacks, right? You want to use it basically, you want to use it when the process gets hard, but you don't want to rely on it, because the process is going to suck. When it comes to dieting to get to a low body fat percentage, even if you're on a GLP-1, you're going to feel the fucking hunger, you're going to feel the low energy, etc. Right? So you want to use it sparingly, and you want to keep that tool in the box basically during prep. So now when you're prepping basically, right? So when you're prepping to get abs for the summer, right? That's when you play the card of diet 7-Ups. That's when you play the card of perhaps if smoking is your thing, smoke a cigarette once in a while, but you don't want to get hooked onto that shit, right? What about? I also abuse nicotine chews basically, right? For focus, right? As a coach, I went through all of this, and the thing that worked the best for me was one night in Vietnam. After I'd smoked basically, there was like a self-help book right in front of me, and they spoke about consciousness. Now, what do I mean by consciousness is, let's probably say if I close my eyes for 5 seconds and I open it up, what's making me close my eyes? Is it my body? Nope. Is it my mind? Nope. It's me. Simply being aware about that me, or that I, or you, or whoever the hell it is simply you being conscious, right? You can be conscious with a series of exercises. Meditation is one of them. Journaling is one of them. That's one. Learning how to be conscious, learning more about self-help, learning more about mindset, etc. is going to be crucial. So now, that's one. The other thing is knowing your strong internal why as to why you're even trying to get in shape. It's not right. You don't want to do it for the girls. You don't want to do it for, I just want to run a 10K marathon. I just want to look good in shirts. You really, really want to know why you're doing this, basically. And it should not be from a place of you going like, I was bullied in school, because that's a painful reason. Once when you lose a couple of kilos, etc., the pain is going to go away, the negative feelings are going to go away. Then you want to know like the long-term pleasurable reason as to why you're doing it. So for me, I truly, truly love bodybuilding. I truly, truly love the art of physique development. So I want to become a prep coach one day. I want to help men around their hormonal health, etc. Helping people truly, truly helps me. That's my internal reason why. Also, nerding out in the process really, really fulfills me. Studying more about building muscle, dropping body fat, and spreading my knowledge really, really, like teaching really, really makes me feel good from the inside. So you want to know your internal reason as to why you're doing this, basically. So learning how to be conscious, and this is a lifelong practice, basically, and knowing your internal why are two strong reasons. Then willpower is going to come and go. When it comes, fucking use it. When it's not there, that's fine. Don't identify with it. The other thing, last thing that I want to suggest is hacks, right? Hacks, you need to use it, you don't want to abuse it, basically. So it's a combination of all of them, but the most important step is simply being conscious, simply knowing your strong internal why. And that basically is it. So, yeah, this is like a bit of a mindset woo-woo wang talk of me, basically, on adherence. It's not around a training, nutrition, and a drug talk, but you do this regardless of which phase you're on, things are going to get much more simpler. It's never going to get easier. You're going to get better at doing things, basically. And that basically is it. Like, I haven't binged in a long time. And right now I'm practicing consciousness daily. Let's probably say I'm creating environments for myself where I put my temptations right in front of me. And I just sit there calm. It's more of like I'm not telling myself, basically, like, oh, you can't eat the shit. Because that's willpower. You're brute knuckling your force, and you just want to be conscious. So I hope you can see it. I put dates, which is one of the things that I would binge on the previous, like in 2025 when I finished my photo shoot, basically, and I was phasing out of it. Even though when my calories were high, I binged on it a lot, basically. I put it, and now I'm calm. Like, my body feels it, but then I'm going like, I choose not to act on it, basically, right? And you just sit there and you chill out, right? So simply being conscious, etc., is really, really going to help you. You don't want to do all of these exercises, but you want to study more about consciousness, etc., and that helps you a ton. Hacks also help you, and willpower also helps you. So yeah, people, if you found this useful, feel free to like, share, subscribe, and if you're interested in coaching, if you want someone to help you out on training, nutrition, supplementation, lifestyle, sleep, stress, digestion, basically everything that you need to build muscle, drop body fat, and build an impressive physique that makes you feel confident, all you need to do is check out the results of my Instagram and fill in the application form below. So yeah, have a nice one.